Hello, everybody. Happy Wednesday. It is time for Cup of Coffee, Big Cup of Coffee today with Kristin. So excited to be jumping on here with you today. So much to cover. So I'm going to jump right in and get started since today is going to be a longer cup of coffee with Kristin. If you have any questions, please drop them in the comment. I will jump in and answer those as we are going through it so we can kind of stay on track. I try to keep our cup of coffee with Kristin, 30 minutes or less. Today's going to be a little bit longer. So I want to jump in, get started. Happy first cup of coffee with Kristin of the new year. Happy 2024, everybody. So excited. So that is what we're going to be diving into today. We are going to be focusing on a cup of coffee with Kristin today, but it is going to be all about our planner review. So setting our planner up together. I sent out the replay for all you amazing ladies who purchased one of the Drive Your Life planners. And if you're a part of our mastery coaching program, but I wanted to spend today, as we're doing our cup of coffee with Kristin, going through setting up utilizing your 2024 Drive Your Life planner from Lady Jeepers. So excited. So today's our planner review. We are going to do our Drive Your Life planner setup today. Again, this is going to be a little bit longer cup of coffee with Kristin. If you have any questions come in, drop them in the comments. I will jump in there and answer them for you as we go through this because I am just going to roll through everything. So if you're new on here, hello, welcome. Hi, I am Kristin DeLibro from LadyJeepers.com. I help Lady Jeepers, women who own Jeeps, to safely enjoy their Jeeps on the trail and design their Jeeps so that they can confidently create a life of adventure without fear. So important. And we do this using our Confident Trail system, our courses, our membership, our in-person events, and our private Jeep consult and concierge services. We have you covered on every angle. So as you're jumping on here, hello, drop in the chat where you are joining us from. And for today, first cup of coffee with Kristin in 2024. So excited. As you are dropping in the comment where you're watching from, share what is one thing you do not want to bring forward into 2024 with you. So it is one thing you want to leave back there in 2023. You don't want to follow you through 2024. Drop it in the comments. Hello. Thank you for jumping on, ladies. You're awesome. All right. So I'm just going to dive in and get started. Any questions come up, drop them in the comments. I will answer them there with you so we can get through all the goodness I have for you today. So we are going to be starting with our section 1. This is the connect to and find you. So I am not going through all the Drive Your Life training and coaching today. We are just going to be diving in to take a look inside our 2024 Drive Your Life planner, how to set it up, utilize it, and get the most out of it together today. So what you're going to notice if you open your planner is the very top corner. Oh, wait, hold on. There we go. Of every page, it is going to say like connect. That is your connect to. As you turn pages, you'll get to a different section and it says personal maintenance. So all of these pages correspond with a different section from the Drive Your Life program. So we're going to dive in and get started on how to set up, utilize your planner. If you are not a part of the Mastery Coaching Program, where we dive into the different aspects and the coaching that goes with each section, we're going to go ahead and go through how to set up the planner and get the best out of it. All right. So we're going to turn our planner. So we have our motivation. We have our Lady Jeepers manifesto. We're going to be turning to our first page, which is the connect. So this is about connecting to and finding you. This section is focused on you, reconnecting to yourself. So you're going to turn to your My Jeep Is page in your planner. It's going to look just like this. We're going to start at the very top. Up at the very top, it's going to say My Jeep Is. You're going to take a minute and write down all the words or phrases that jump into your mind when you think about explaining your Jeep to someone. So if you were going to explain to someone what you love about your Jeep, why you love having your Jeep, what your Jeep means to you, that is where you're just going to brain dump everything in there. So again, don't think through things. We're not trying to analyze. This is where first things that pop in, you're going to drop in here. It could be a word, it can be phrase, whatever it is for you. So you're going to take a minute to drop in there different words or phrases that you would use to describe your Jeep if you were explaining to someone else. Like, I love my Jeep because my Jeep is strong, tough, unbreakable, unstoppable. It means freedom to me. It means adventure to me. Explain your Jeep. Once you have done that, I want you to take a minute and look at everything that you put on there because everything you just described about your Jeep is really the truth about yourself. You are those things. So I want you to go back through, reread what you put down there. Again, words, phrases. Don't overanalyze. We're working on connecting to ourselves. So going with kind of our gut instinct here today. So don't think your way through and analyze. Just go with what jumps out to you. So if you were to grab it, scan, what words pop out to you? And I want you to circle 3. And again, it can be a word, it can be a phrase. Circle those 3 that stand out to you the most. So once you have done that, you're going to move down to the next section, which you have our amazing Lady Jeeper Manifesto. If you've been a part of Lady Jeepers since the beginning, you're going to recognize her. I asked at the very beginning when we started Lady Jeepers, so back in 2019, I asked you amazing ladies to explain your Jeep in one word. So what I did is I pulled from all of your comments on that post and put all of them together as our amazing Lady Jeeper. So there's fearless, there is badass, beauty, accomplished, amazing, courageous, calming, me, fierce, badass me, adventurous, dreamer, awesome. So many amazing words in there. And you, amazing ladies, helped create this. So that is our Lady Jeeper Manifesto. So what you're doing is you're going to pick the 3 words or statements that stand out to you, and you're going to write those. I am, put in one of the words or phrases. I am, put in the second one. I am, put in the third one. This is now your personal statement. So that's your personal statement for 2024. So I always have in mind every single year, and I go through all these exercises just like you amazing ladies every year. So my top one is I am fierce. So these are for you. These are to help motivate you, keep you inspired, and remind you through the entire year. These are your I am power personal statements. Now, we've created our power statements. We're going to turn to the next page. And at the top, it is going to say connect again. But this is also, so next page, it says release and change at the top. And then it says my dreams underneath it. So we're going to start at the top. You will need to grab a piece of paper for this exercise because we do not want to put the things that we do not want in 2024 in this planner. Think of it as this planner is going to be creating all the things you want to create in 2024. So the things we want to release and change, we want it on a separate piece of paper. We don't want them in this planner for an entire year. So grab a piece of paper, and at the top, you're going to write release/I can change. And again, all these exercises that we are doing, the time that you spend setting up your planner, Think of getting out of your head, connecting to yourself, going with your gut. So we're not going to analyze everything. Think of this as a brain dump and write down anything that pops up. No judgment. We're not going into any of this, but write every hard situation, everything you're giving too much energy to or too much time, and anything you want changed or just gone from this upcoming year. And take a minute, just brain dump on that piece of paper. Now, once you've done that, you're going to set that piece of paper aside for now. And then I want you to take a moment and let all of that roll off of you. So we can now open to bring in what we do want in our lives for this new year. So we don't want to carry forward the things we don't want. So below, it is going to say my dreams. So we're moving down to my dreams section. So in this section, think of one of the biggest changes you want to make this year. And now I want you to jump ahead 6 months or a year from now, and you are now there. You're in that moment. You're living this new you. So, how have things changed? What is different? And here's the piece I want you to really connect to. How does that feel? What is it like to already have this change in your life? So, you've jumped forward. You have incorporated the big change that you would like to see for 2024. You've done it. You've accomplished it. You're now forward 6 months or a year. How are things different? What has changed in your life? How does that feel? And what is that experience like standing right there, having accomplished that? And take a minute and fill this section in. So, this is my dreams. So, really, what you're looking at is what does my best life look and feel like? What do I want to bring more of into my life? And where do I want to put more positive focus? That is what this my dreams section is for. So, this is about what are those things you want? And again, we're letting go of judgment. And what I don't want you to do is say, oh, my dream would be to be living out in the middle of Montana, have a farm, be growing produce, whatever it may be. And I don't want you to try to talk yourself out of that. Like, oh, that's not realistic. That's not going to be able to happen this year. This is about dreaming big. This is about connecting to those things that fuel you. So, what are some big changes for this year? What are some big changes that would bring you closer to what your dream is? And what is that dream? So, take a minute to really work through what are your dreams? And again, don't try to talk yourself in or out of anything. Just spend some time. I call it daydreaming as an adult. We still need to do adult daydreaming, right? We used to do it as kids. Sky was the limit. We could imagine anything was possible. We need to get back to that as adults. So once you have spent your time doing that, we are going to go to my favorite part of this planner, and that is creating your vision board for 2024. So it is the next page. This is where you're going to create your vision board that you'll have in your planner to be able to see in front of you. Have fun with this. Take some time because this should feel exciting and motivating as you're creating what you want to bring into your life for 2024. So, my suggestion when you sit down to do this vision board section is block off a couple hour section of time this week or coming weekend. Make sure it's time you can spend focused on you and are not interrupted. You can print out photos of the things you want to be doing in 2024, the places you want to go, things that you want to add into your life. And again, this isn't about, oh, I won't be able to do that this year. Oh, there's so many. No, this is, again, dream big. If you could go anywhere in 2024, where would it be? What would you be doing? Who would you be with? What are things that you want to add into your life? Is it health? Is it more spiritual focus? Is it more family time? What are those things? And have fun with this. Use colored pencils or stickers, cut out pictures from magazines, whatever motivates you and inspires you. Before you do this exercise, sit down and close your eyes and allow yourself to daydream for a couple minutes before you get started. So, if you could create the perfect year for you on this paper, what would you be doing? Where would you be? Who would you be with? What are you focusing on this year? And what brings you joy and happiness thinking about it? And again, block off a good 2-hour window to be able to sit down, really focus on this, and then jump in and create your own personal masterpiece of what 2024 looks like for you. So, we finished our connect and reconnect to you section in our planner. Now we're moving on to our next section, which is build your power. So the next step is going to be we've connected to you. Now we're going to build our power within ourselves. And to be yourself in a world that is constantly trying to make you something else is the greatest accomplishment. And that is one of my favorite sayings from Ralph Waldo. So now we're going to turn to the next page in your planner. And this is your Lady Jeepers build. So you're going to notice there's sections here. Yes, we just worked a little bit on the let go of and change in our previous exercise, but you're going to notice sometimes there are things that repeat themselves because we need to do the same action or focus on that mindset, be in that space more than just once. Sometimes we need to repeat things, right? Because the more we do something, the more it becomes second nature, it becomes easier, or it's a focus that we see in front of us. So on this page, we're going to start with the let go of or change. And again, write down those things. Make the decision to let go or change what you don't want in your life. Then you're going to move down to the things that you want to bring into your life and focus on. So, what positive aspects or decisions or things or focus can you bring into your life? It can be working on positive mindsets, using one of my favorite exercises, which is the game of appreciation, where you find something every day that you appreciate, you're appreciative for. It could be journaling more, whatever that could be for you to bring things into your life. And then what is that end vision? So my life would now look like and feel, make sure you put feel and emotion in there more like this. And why is it important? Why is it worth it? And how has your life changed? So spend some time going through each one of those aspects and those questions. So start with your letting go of, then move down to the bring into your life to focus on, and then that end vision of your build. Like I talked about, if you jumped on for our why New Year's resolutions fail class, you have to find your why. And living in the why with an emotional connection to that is the key to all changes, to all goals, to all success. So remember, you can always come back to the sheet, continue to grow as well. Then we're going to now move into our section 3, which is your personal maintenance plan. And remember, decision is the ultimate power. That's a quote by Tony Robbins. So, self care is the most important tip or aspect we can do to stay in a good mindset, stay in a good place emotionally, energetically. So, self care is the foundation for a happy, balanced life. I know everyone has heard self care before, but it is okay to put your wants and needs ahead of others and other things in your life. I'm going to say it again. Sometimes we need to hear this. It is okay to put your wants and your needs ahead of other things in your life and focus on you. Because it is so easy to fall into a routine where we take care of everyone else all the time. So, why is self care so important? I know you've heard me talk about it a lot. Sure, you've heard other coaches talk about it a lot, just people in general, right? Everyone talks about self care and how important it is. But think about it this way, you can't pour from an empty cup. So, you have to take care of yourself first. You can't help someone else if you haven't been helping yourself. So it's not selfish to focus on you. It's not selfish to make sure that you're taking care of yourself first. Because if you really want to be able to help the people in your life that are important to you, to be there, maybe, for different people in your family, children, relationships, whatever it may be, work, depending on what you do, you have to make sure that your cup is full because otherwise there's nothing to pour into other people's cups. You can't help anyone else. You have to help yourself first. So think of it as you need the time for yourself to recharge and connect back to yourself. It is the time to release all that is going on, to find quietness, to shut down that self talk and only hear you. So I want you to look at yourself for a moment as you would your Jeep. And that is where we're going to dive into the personal maintenance. We'll take the time to do the maintenance on our Jeep. We have a maintenance schedule. We know when it needs things. We need to do that for ourselves. So as we go into 2024, I want you to challenge yourself to look at you like you would your Jeep. Sometimes our Jeep needs a little more maintenance than others. Sometimes, we got to stop at the gas station. So think of you just like you would your Jeep. And we're going to turn to your personal maintenance page. So the next page in your planner. And it has start your morning routine and my perfect day on that page. And I want you to take a minute to fill these two sections out. So when you start looking, at the top section, start your morning routine. How you start your morning will set the precedence for your entire day. So what are some things you can do for you in the morning to focus on you? And these can be 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, whatever time frame you want to allot to this. But make sure to think through what is something you can do for yourself, even if it's 5 minutes in the morning, that you can add into your routine, your day, that is just for you, that is going to help set your morning up so that you've spent that little extra time on yourself. Once you've started with your morning routine, I want you to move down to your perfect day and take a minute and get quiet, clear your mind, and think about your perfect day. What does that perfect day look like? Consist of? What are you doing? Write down in as much detail every aspect of your perfect day. You want to capture how this day feels. Could it be you have a great day at work? Could it be, you wake up, there's no traffic going into work. You get there, coworkers are in a great mood. You have an amazing day at work. But what does that consist of? What does an amazing day at work mean for you? You get off work. Is it your kids had a great day at school? Everybody's happy. They're sharing some great wins with you. Is it you get home and you're able to take, a 10-minute break for you? Again, maybe it's listening to a podcast, watching a show, reading a book, meditating, just getting quiet. What is that for you? And go all the way through a day from when you wake up to when you go to bed and lay out what that would be for you because we're all different. Once you've done that, we're going to actually skip the perfect week page for right now, jump to the next page, which is your refuel. So just as you do the service on your Jeep to keep it running, you need to do self-service to keep yourself running strong. So what are things that you could do on a daily basis, a weekly basis, and a monthly basis that are going to help to refuel you and that you can incorporate into your personal maintenance plan? So again, Look at daily, weekly, monthly. Find things that bring you peace, joy, and the ability to relax, recharge, and hear your inner self. So the goal is that you should always feel recharged, re energized, remotivated when you finish your self care time. Feel like you took a time out for yourself, you focused on you. So take a minute and start your list for each category of what you can do to refuel. This again is somewhere you can come back to and always continue to add to. Excuse me. And here's some examples for you. Could be take a nice bubble bath, get your nails done, meditate, hit a Jeep trail, take a walk, just go for a drive in your Jeep, get a massage, take yourself out for coffee, take yourself out for lunch, read a book, take 10 to 15 minutes to sit quietly. Maybe it's enjoying nature. But don't forget to add in some of your mindsets too. Daily affirmations. Focus on setting good boundaries, saying no more, or maybe saying yes more to things for you that are going to be exciting for you. Because self care means giving yourself permission to pause. We all need that time to just stop, not be thinking about anything, not be doing anything, not be worrying about anything. We need that actual stop, hitting the pause button and being able to spend that time on ourselves. Now we're going to move down at the bottom of that page. It says recovery gear. So we're going to move down to 5 things you can do when things get hard. So remember, just like on a trail in life, you're going to hit some muddy spots, some hard hills, and so on. What are some things that you can do when you hit those hard times or those hard spots? It could be refining your inspiration and motivation. Could be connecting back to the why you are doing this and wanting it in the first place. Know who you can ask for help or to just vent to. Having a support system or a person that you know you can talk to if you need to. So just so you are not alone. And it's so important sometimes to know who that person is. Do you need to let off some steam? Clear your mind. Go to an awesome Jeep event or trail ride. Go out for a fun night of some drinks and dancing. Roll down your Jeep window and scream. Revisit the vision board and schedule to see what I want and how to shift or change to get myself back on the schedule. It's so important to take the time now, just like how we create our recovery bag for in our Jeep. It is so important that we take the time to look at if things get hard. I hit hard patches. I get off schedule. I'm no longer motivated, whatever it may be. What is in that recovery bag? What are things that you can do? Who are you going to reach out to? Have all of that mapped out right now because we need to do it from a place of planning, just like our recovery gear in our Jeep. We have it in there. We hope we don't need to use it, but we have it if we need it. So that's that same idea. You are prepared ahead of time. All right. Now we're going to move backwards. I went a little out of order, but for a reason. We're going to move backwards. We're going back to the perfect week. And this is again in your personal maintenance. So now it is time to schedule out the pieces of what our personal maintenance plan looks like. So we're on page 8, which is your perfect week. So first, let's look at the week. We have it broken down into morning, afternoon, and evening sections. So start by filling in your morning routine steps in the morning section. Keep in mind, pull from the ideas that you just wrote down in your other section, but it can be 5, 10, 15 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever is right for you. Next, do you have any weekly appointments or engagements that happen every week at the same time? Are there things that you could nail down to make consistent for you? So it could be the same time, every Monday morning, I go and get a massage, or every Monday morning I go to the grocery store. What are things that you could map out, nail down, make it consistent to do the same time in the same day every week? And maybe it's not in the morning. So move to the afternoon section. Are there things that you can do on set days and times in the afternoon? And can you add anything into this for you? So in the afternoons, can you take a 10-minute coffee break with Kristin on Wednesdays? What are things that you can do in the afternoons for you? Can you add anything in there? It could be even listening to meditation music while you're waiting in the pickup line at school. What are just little things you can start to add in and where that are just for you? So again, for example, one afternoon a week, you could go for a walk during your break at work. One set day, go to the gym or give myself an afternoon treat. What are things you can add in there that are significant for you? Then we're going to move to our evening. So what is your perfect evening during your week? Set a day and time to have a bubble bath, read a book, listen to music just for you, have a date night with a significant other or a friend. What are things you can start adding into this evening routine that are going to be for you? Take some time to work through each of the sections and start to schedule your refuel and self-maintenance in your schedule. Dream big. This is, after all, your perfect week, and write it here in your schedule. And again, what are things that you can start to nail down to make them the same day, the same time every week for consistency? Consistency is so important as well. And having things nailed down, mapped out so they're the same, that helps to create, right? Consistency, a schedule, a routine, but make sure you add your stuff in first. So, why is it so important to take this time right now and write out your dream or your ideal personal maintenance plan in your schedule? Because you need to see it on paper. This way, you can look back at it and start to incorporate these pieces and things into your life. There is a power of getting it out of your mind or your dreams on a schedule. It shifts the power and focus that you are giving to it. I'm a big science person too. There is a scientific research that has been done about when we take a pen and we write it on a piece of paper, we're thinking a thought, it's triggering responses in our body. We write it as we're writing it. So we're writing it, but we're seeing it again. So there is a different physical response that our body and our mind and our brain actually responds with when we actually just take that pen to paper and write it. So that is why it's so important sometimes to write things over and over again, because we're training our mind and our responses as well. All right. So some ideas could be, as you're going through all of this, take yourself to your favorite lunch, take yourself out to a nice dinner, buy a new piece of clothing that makes you feel great, schedule a facial or spa time, get a new mod for the Jeep, schedule a getaway or a vacation. What are some things you can start to incorporate in? And again, think big as you're doing this. Then we're going to move down to the bottom section on this same page. And this is celebrate all success. No matter how small or how big, all wins matter, all success matters. And this is a crucial piece. This is also the most forgotten piece in our life. We have to celebrate and give ourselves that great job. You did it, to help increase the positive reinforcement for ourselves. It's so easy to cheerlead for other people, congratulate someone else. We have to do it for ourselves because we matter as well. So take a moment and celebrate that you made it here, right here with me today. Did you know more than 80% of people would have given up already and not made it to this point today? Wow, that's crazy, right? When we start talking about when people set goals, when we have a new year and it starts out, 80% of the people give up. 80% of the people never push through to meet their goals, make any changes, do things for themselves. And that is a lot of people. So celebrate that you are one of the 20% who's doing it by being here today, going through this, by even just grabbing your planner and having it. You are doing it. So you're one of the 20%, and you're making the effort to change things instead of dropping off and allowing everything to be the same yet again for another year. So, what are some ideas for celebrating? You could go on an adventure, hang out at the bookstore, find a new book for you, wash your Jeep. What are things that feel like celebrations for you? If you were going to be like, good job, think about kids with chores, right? You had a win. You said no to something, said yes to something, followed through with everything in your schedule for the week, whatever your win may be. What feels like celebration to you? And that's what you're going to fill in, and make sure that you put in there how you are going to celebrate and reward yourself. Again, you need to have a plan. And I want you to remember there is nothing in nature that blooms all year long. So don't expect yourself to either. I know sometimes as we come into a new year, we start looking at habits we want to change or new habits we want to incorporate, goals that we have, all these things we want for this new year and for 2024. We can't forget though, there's always going to be some ups and downs. That's why having a plan, having your personal recovery kit, all those things are so important to just put together up front, because there is nothing in nature that blooms all year long, and you can't expect yourself to either. So what we want is to work on consistency, to work on focus, to work on the small little changes that we can do every single day, every single week, every single month, that after a full year adds up to huge changes. So now we're going to move to section 4, your personal build and mods. Again, same idea like you would look at your Jeep. So now it's time to create your own personal build and mod design. So focus on what you want to change or redesign and add to you, as well as your life, by making the schedule of the habits you will now incorporate into your life and where. You want to set a goal that is big enough that in the process of achieving it, you become someone worth becoming. So we're pushing ourselves to change as we're setting our goals as well. So now I want you to turn to your personal build and mod tracker in your planner. It's going to look like this. Dun, 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 dun. All right. So now that we have gotten there, we're going to take a minute, and I want you to think of dividing your life into 4 different categories or aspects. If you are one of our mastery, excuse me, I got something in my throat. All right, if you're one of our mastery coaching amazing ladies, we're going to be going through this. I have exercises called the Wheel of Life, where we're going to dive into this a little more in depth together, but it's kind of the same idea and principle. Take a minute and think of dividing your life into 4 different categories or aspects. And you're going to go ahead and write them at the top above the blocks on this piece of paper. So at the very top where it says current assessment. And this is one of those brutal, honest aspects that is important for forward growth. So complete the chart. And I want you to look at, if you were to look at a circle, right? Think of a full pie in a circle. And what are the 4 biggest aspects, either in your life right now where you're giving your focus to, or things you want to add into your life that you're giving your focus to? So think about dividing that up into 4 sections. They don't have to be the same size. But what are 4 big sections and 4 big areas that you really want to be focused on in your life. And this could be work, could be personal, could be family and relationships, it could be health. What are 4 different areas that you really want to be focusing on? You'll write those at the top. Then I want you to fill in the current percentage of your time, focus, energy, stress, whatever it may be that you're giving to each of those aspects right now. If it's something new you want to incorporate, it's like, say it's health is a big category for you. Maybe you're only spending 0% of your time or 5% of your time there. But this is where, be honest, how much of your time, what percent of your focus is going there right now? And it could be work is getting 80%, and it's because you're giving it 80% of your energy, it's causing more stress, you're always thinking about it. So take some time to really dive into this. Then underneath, after you put your current percentage of time that you're focusing or spending there right now, I want you to look at your current and new habits. So, what are some things that you want to incorporate into those areas right now? Is it saying no more? Is it being present so that when you are with family, when you're focusing on relationship time, family time, you're 100% committed, focused? Phone is away, it's not out. You're not checking emails, you're not scrolling Facebook, you're not doing things that when you are in each one of these categories, these aspects, you're giving it 100% of your time. But then when you move on to the next one, you're not thinking about any of the other ones. That is time blocking, which is so important. Then at the very bottom, what is the percentage of time or focus or energy or stress that you want to give each of these aspects? And again, don't worry about this being 100% accurate. So maybe it's, I only want to give work 20% of my time. Well, if you work a full work week, you're working more than 20% of your time. When you say you only want to give it 20% of your time, that means once you are no longer at work, you're not going to answer phone calls. You're not going to message people back. You're not going to check emails. You're not going to talk about work with other people. You're not going to think about work outside of that work time. So, what does that ideal look like for you? Then you're going to notice at the bottom of this page, you're going to see that there is a monthly tracker. And you're going to see every month as well, there's 4 sections broken out with a percentage. So, at the end of each month, you're going to go back, you're going to fill in this worksheet and fill out each month for each of these 4 aspects. And they can change as you go forward. They don't have to be the exact same. But you'll notice you can write at the top of each of these boxes what we just broke down up above. And then you're going to look at, and you're going to fill this in at every monthly check-in. So at the end of every month. And so it'd be January. What was the current amount of percentage of time or focus you were giving to this aspect? And what is the goal? So what your goal is to get closer and closer to that goal percentage time every month. And again, we're not looking for huge changes. We don't want to go from, we were spending 5% of our time on health. Now it's at 100. We met our goal in a month. We want slow, small changes every month that add up so that your goal is when you start to get to September, October, November, that is where you should be the closest point to your goal of how much time you're spending in each of those areas. So this isn't huge changes you have to make right away. Sometimes we set ourselves up to fail because we think we have to go from, 80% of our focus is on work and working in our job or our business. We're only putting 5% into health. Well, I need to cut that back and be 20% in my business and 80% of my health. I need to do it right now. Those are huge, drastic changes. Success comes by making small little changes every day. Think if you only made a 1% change every day. In a year, that's a 365% change. That's just huge. That's significant. And that seems much more achievable because you're not putting all this pressure on, trying to make all these changes, make huge changes. So think of everything when you look at it. We need to make small forward steps and changes every single day. That is how we get from where we are to where we want to get to. So up above, you're going to put the name of the aspects from above. So those 4 aspects onto your chart. And then you're going to start to track those. We're going to jump over to a weekly page because what I want you to notice is when you start getting into your actual planner and schedule, there we go. You're going to notice on this weekly page, guess what? These 4 boxes match perfectly with the 4 different aspects of life that we just broke down. So when you go to start doing your weekly schedule, you're going to fill in at the top of those 4 boxes with the name of each of your aspects of your life that you're focusing on. It's amazing how it carries over and it all matches. So the aspect names will stay the same for each week until you reach all your goals, habits, changes, everything that you desire in that aspect. Then you can change and add something different. So after you put the name of the 4 different aspects of your life, you'll notice there's a box underneath it. So this is what you're going to focus on. So a couple things that you can change in each aspect for the week. So do not put a big list here. This is where you're going to be doing your chipping away, chipping it down to focus on 1 or 2 small pieces in each aspect for the week. So like, for example, if one of them's health, we're not going to put in there, drink more water, cut out sugar, eat healthier, work out, make sure I get to the gym 5 days a week. We're not going to just make this huge long list of everything. Pick 2 things, just 2, to focus on in each aspect in your week. So put in things that you want to bring in, remove a habit or a focus, something you want to change for that aspect. And remember to be kind to yourself and that this is a process. So you're also going to notice you have a weekly tracker below that section. And of course, I already filled in some of the high performer habits. So you have eat healthy, drink water, exercise. So what you're going to do is add anything that is just for you in this tracker. Each week, you're going to track what days of the week you do this. This is your way to keep track, keep yourself accountable each and every week. So why is a monthly review and overview so important? It keeps you moving forward and focused on each aspect as well as what you want to accomplish. It keeps you accountable by revisiting these each month. So you're going to see them over and over again each month, assess, look at where you're putting your time, your focus, but it sets up the next month for you to get the most success as well. So by doing a 30-day check-in every 30 days, so every month, it keeps your mindset, your emotional attachment, and creates a habit, a positive habit of getting in the habit of always kind of doing a monthly review, reviewing the month that you're in, how it went, looking at everything, and then setting yourself up by planning the month that is coming up ahead. Before we jump into finishing using our planner for scheduling, our last page is page 10. This is the My Life list. So this is your bucket list. And sometimes, like for me, I carry the same things forward every year. That's okay. It doesn't have to be things you're going to get done this year. Of course, it's things you're striving for every year. But take some time, have fun with it, fill out your bucket list. Then You have your big year overview. You have some of my favorite motivation waiting for you. And then we start to dive in to the monthly. So, as we start to move into planning and organizing, when you are building yourself, your focus should be on yourself. Everything else can wait. Now, of course, we have responsibilities, we have things we have to be doing. We can't just hit the stop button on life. But you need to put yourself first, focus on you first, then start to look at all the other things that need your attention. So put yourself first. So now we're moving into our section 5, be your own mechanic and just do it. You are your own mechanic now. This is the piece where it is time to get dirty and do the work. It's time to take control of the schedule aspect and put all the pieces together into our schedules and just do it. So now we are going to focus on filling in your schedule and your calendar. Once you have put what is the most important big things for you for the year, then you can fill in any big work projects, events for the year, things that someone else would like you to attend, you've been invited to. I recommend, as you can see, I recommend using a different color pen if you want to, for you, for work, for family, for others. Color code, it makes it really easy when you go to look at a year, a month, a week to see, what is something for you, what is something for family, color code by children, whatever it may be, makes it easier to do a quick kind of look. So we really have been focusing on us, right? And how to create and incorporate what we need in our lives into our schedule. So now it's time to zoom in and start to schedule and to plan. So if you turn to the monthly pages in your planner, you're going to notice that they're in different spots based on the month, but you're going to notice they all have a check-in for the month on there. Use your monthly check-in. Review how things went for the current month, and then set up and bring forward into your weekly for the month what you want to focus on for that month. This is a really crucial piece to make sure you follow through with. It helps you to keep momentum. It helps you to check back in with where you want to be, the maintenance, keeping your focus for the entire year because you're seeing it, you're paying attention, you're evaluating every single month. This is something that is a crucial piece for success. So when you get to your monthly pages and you start to schedule a month, for example, first of all, you need to fill in any major or big events, rides, things you have in your yearly overview for you. Again, you can color code. I do just because it makes it easier for me when I have so much on my calendar to be able to see. I'll share with you, amazing ladies, because I'm always open and honest. For example, like for how I organize Lady Jeepers, we have members only classes. I have live classes like we're doing today for everyone. I have things that are workshops that I'm doing. I have in-person events. So when I'm doing the Lady Jeepers calendar, I do the same thing. I have every month, and then I use a different color. So like I have a live event, it's one color. I have members classes, anything for our members, live Q&A, things like that. Those are all the same color. Then any of the workshops that I'm doing are specific colors. So everything's color coded. So it makes it easy if I'm like, oh, what day was the members live Q&A? I can look and I can see it and it's easier. So I do that for my business and personal. And I have 2 separate planners. That is something I recommend if you are a business owner or entrepreneur and you have a business focus, then you have your personal focus. I recommend having 2 separate planners. Reason being, when you start to intermix, yes, it's nice to have everything in one place, but I like to have my business planner, personal planner, and then that way it is really easy to be like, all right, what's going on this week or this month? And it's all business related. Then I can grab my personal one and do the same thing. Of course, there's times that things carry over a little bit. So I know when I can schedule things for the business or when I can schedule things personally, but I like to keep them a little separate. Personal preference, totally up to you. But when you start to fill in your month, start by filling in for you first. That's right. Anything that is personal maintenance for you, self-care, things for you, put that in this monthly calendar first. Then, once you have you filled in, then you can bring in the other pieces for family, for work, for what others have invited you to do, and get in the habit of always putting your wants and needs in your schedule and down on your paper first. So we created morning, afternoon, evening, ways to refuel. You need to make sure all of that starts to get into your schedule and put it in first. That makes it easier to see how much time you have to add other things into the schedule for the month. If someone or something falls on the same weekend or day that you already have something for you, that way you can get the things that you want in there first. So if someone invited you to something, you could be like, oh, I'm so sorry. I'd scheduled this, I'm not available. Instead of putting everyone else in there and then you in there last, always put yourself first as you're working through your schedule. And then this also allows you to see where you want to be spending your time. It makes it easier to design other things around that, as well as to say no to other things if it is too much or it falls when you already have things for you first. This took me years. I used to always write in pencil in my calendars. I wouldn't even write in pen because I would map it out. Then if somebody asked me, like, oh, could you help me? I need some help on this day at this time. If I had something on there, I would erase it or I would move my appointment so I could help somebody. I now write down in pen, I put me first. And if I have something scheduled, say it's a massage, something for me, and someone asks me, I'm like, ooh, I'm so sorry. No, I can't help on that day and time, but hey, I'm available on this day and time. I don't move my stuff around for me to accommodate because I have to put myself first. That is so important. So at the same time, you're training your brain and responses to put you first, to make sure you look at what you want. And this is a habit that we're creating by systematically approaching the schedule. So in your planner, you're also going to notice at the bottom of every monthly page, it has focus on notes and goals for this month. So this is where you can start to make this your own. So you can put in there what are things you want to focus on for this month, goals for the month, any notes for the month. You'll also notice when I designed the planner, there's a full monthly page here for organization, for notes, for to-do list. You can use it as a journal, however you want to use this for you. I did this for my big to-do list for the month. But you can personalize this. It can be tracking your Jeep build progress. So however you want to use this, I liked it because I like to handwrite notes. I like to handwrite my to-do list, anything I need to be planning, focusing on for the month. So I like having an entire page. And what I really like is when you open them, you can see them both at the same time. So to me, it makes it a little bit easier for me and how my brain works as I am organizing. You're going to notice in the middle of the planner, in between your monthly and weekly pages, you have some more inspiration mixed in there as well. These are just some inspiration to help you so you don't lose focus on you. All right, now we're going to be turning to a week again. Since we're just talking about the monthly, we already talked about how to set up our blocks for our personal modification sections, making sure we are utilizing these every week, only putting 2 things per category that we want to be changing. Don't forget to put habits in here as well. What are the things you want to add or remove? But you're going to notice at the top, it says the statement and belief for the week. I am. You can either create a new I am statement or you can bring forward your I am statements that we created at the beginning when we were talking about my Jeep is. Bring those forward. Take the time to fill this out every week. This can be your affirmation for your week to set your intention. So it could be I am strong. I am healthy. I enjoy focusing on me, whatever it may be, and start to incorporate your affirmation in there. Then you're also going to notice right below the box, it has be the person my Jeep makes me become. And it has smile more, have intention, and be fierce. So at the end of the week, put the check marks in the boxes if you feel like you accomplished these. And again, this is just another way to keep your focus on the motivation, the inspiration, the positivity to be making these changes. All right, now we're going to turn to the daily. So you have your weekly. And again, I did it this way because I like being able to see weekly and daily so I can see everything mapped out. When you turn to your daily, again, make sure you put yourself in there first. Put in your daily activities, the refueling from your perfect week. Start adding that. Remember, we did morning, afternoon, evening. Start adding those into your actual weekly, daily schedules. And again, put yourself first. Then add in work hours or responsibilities, but make sure you're getting your personal maintenance and self care in there as well so that you are incorporating things for you. Then start to fill everything else in as well. So, if there is a lot or not enough time, remove items that are not crucial or say no to things that do not fit. Do not take off your time for you to replace it with a responsibility or an action that is not crucial. Say no. Remember, our end goal is that we shift this schedule to look like our perfect week from the worksheet that we did together. Now, when you go to fill this out, above the time slots, you're going to notice that there are some boxes. So those are for your to-do for today. You may notice that there's only enough room for 5 things each day. As you finish up whatever that to do is for the day, you get to put an X mark in there, feel accomplished, or a check mark, or color it in however you want to do it. And you might be saying, my to do list is so much longer. This is a new mindset and way of approaching our to do list. So instead of copying the same things over and over and over every day and having this massive long to do list, you need to look through it. You need to again, some of this is some hard truth here, and look at what can you really do today, or what do you really want to get done today? But there's only 5 things. There is not enough time in a day, room on our schedule to put down there 20 things on our to-do list, unless they're all like teeny tiny things that probably don't need to be on a to-do list, right? Maybe they're just reminders. So say you need to run errands, or you have a doctor's appointment, or you need to make a phone call, you can schedule those into the time blocks. So think of your to-do list blocks as you only get to pick 5 things off your massive long to-do list for each day. Because we're trying to get out of the habit of just copying over and over and over again. We want to accomplish. So just pick 5. And make sure that there are 5 things that you feel are doable in that day. So don't pick 5 things that are going to take 5 hours each. That's not doable. This is now about, as we're creating our schedule, we have to be realistic and we have to set ourselves up for success. So you're also going to notice on your daily pages next to them, you have a notes. So if you do need to add some extra to do things over here or a list, they can go in your notes section. They don't need to go in every day over and over again. Then you're also going to notice at the bottom, it says, I have gratitude for. So keeping focus on staying in the right feeling is so important to help aid with motivation and inspiration to make it easy to keep going forward for success. So this is kind of your weekly gratitude journal as well, where you're going to put something in there that you were really grateful for the week. So why have I gone through how to break down your schedule and be your own mechanic to just do it? Because it is easy to spend time like we have today on you, breaking down what you want in your life and designing it. But implementing it and using it in your schedule every day is the way to reach what you want to change in your life. They say if you want something to change, then you must do something different. If you do nothing different, nothing will change. So for years, I struggled with going through all sorts of different training programs, life coaching, personal development, organizational training, you name it, I probably went through it. And until the day came when I found a way to put it all together, I never got the results that I dreamed about and that I wished for so badly. So work hard on not changing things around in your schedule. Try to stay as close to your original plan for your days, your weeks, your month as you can. Always get in the routine of putting your needs, your wants, things for your schedule down first. And this is your trail to success and creating a life that you are living for you. I feel passionately that you can now have all the pieces to put together to ensure that you can change the things you want different for this year and for 2024. You can go anywhere and get anywhere you dream. Just go slow and take it one obstacle at a time. So I know we went through the planner. To kind of look at the different pages, how to utilize, how it is set up, how to get the best out of it as far as tracking, as far as goals, as far as habits, making the changes, seeing the results. I didn't go all the way into the back of the planner. It's pretty self-explanatory of your post-ride checklist. So the last section is all Jeep related. You have your Jeep checklist for events. It's in there. The whole checklist is in there. What maintenance you need to do before you go to an event. That's more maintenance. Before you go to the event. Then you have your pre-ride checklist in here as well. So the very end is all of your Jeep related education. And then your vehicle service record is in the back as well. And your what to pack for a trip list. So basically, the whole first section is dedicated to reconnecting to you, filling out your schedule for you before you look at your big schedule. Then section 2 of the planner is all about your schedule as a planner with calendars, things like that, but it still incorporates our goal setting program. And then section 3 at the end is all about your Jeep. So remember, you can revisit your inspiration in the drive in your planner when the trail gets tough. Look inside for the strength to keep pushing on. Have that recovery kit, personal recovery kit for you put together and know how you're going to use that. So I know that was a lot. It was a long class. I was not originally planning on doing a planner setup for one of our cup coffee with Kristin, but I felt like it was so important to do so. So that is how to get the most out of and utilize and how the 2024 Drive Your Life Planner is set up. So I hope that helps to clarify. Again, if you have questions, drop them in the comments. I will be jumping in to answer all of those for you. I know this was a long class, so I wanted to keep everything rolling for today. So thank you for jumping on with me for the how to use your planner. If you haven't grabbed one of our amazing 2024 Drive Your Life planners, we have 4 different cover options this year. We have never done that before. We will not be doing that again next year, just because we are revamping the planners again a little bit for next year. So if you are interested, super easy. Jump over to ladyjeepers.com/2024 planner. Super easy to grab your planner, and you get to pick your cover option. And great news, now you know how to use and utilize your planner as well. So if you haven't grabbed one yet, there's still time. They will not be available after January. So if you're on the fence, you've been thinking about it, grab your planner while you still can. If you're interested, then if you enjoyed what we talked about today, you are ready to kick some booty in 2024. I announced the ladyjeepers.com Ass Kicking Challenge for 2024 starts January 15th. This is all about those mindsets, those exercises, ways to really focus on you for these first 8 weeks of 2024, working through new ways to set goals, look at goals, break things down, organize, new mindsets, new ways to stay inspired. So if you are interested, I'm doing something totally different this year for the Ass Kicking Challenge as well. I did it in honor and dedication to my daughter for some of her struggles in 2023. So the challenges she overcame. So it is a pay what you want for the challenge. So if you are interested in spending 8 weeks kicking some booty as we kick off 2024 together, just jump over ladyjeepers.live/challenge. Jump in, get signed up. We start January 15th. It is every day for 8 weeks together. So excited. This is one of my favorite challenges of the year. So if you have not joined us yet, jump over for that. And if you enjoyed some of this and would like the Drive Your Life in-depth coaching that goes with these different aspects that we shared today for reconnect to you, building your power, being your own mechanic, and you want to dive in, you really want to work on you and focus on you for 2024, jump over to ladyjeepers.live/coaching. Again, the coaching program will be shutting down in January because we're going to be moving in. We do group coaching as well together. So I don't want to be adding people throughout the year. So if you're interested, you want even more, jump over, check out ladyjeepers.live/coaching to jump into our mastery coaching program for the entire year together. All the information is waiting there for you as well. So again, if you're interested in the challenge or coaching or the planner, all of this is going to be disappearing at the end of the month. This is our last month we're going to be offering it. So jump over and grab some. I would love to spend the entire year with you. Okay, next week for our cup of coffee with Kristin, we will be back into our Jeep education together. So next week, we're going to dive into Jeep generations, do kind of a quick overview of all the different Jeep generations together. Don't forget, we have a cup of coffee with Kristin every Wednesday at 3 p.m. Eastern time, right here live. So thank you so much for spending time with me today as we worked through this very first cup of coffee with Kristin for the year. So excited. So excited for 2024 to be here. So much good stuff coming. I just want to thank you. I know this was a longer class, so thank you for diving on here, spending all this time with me today. And I hope to see you next week when we jump back into our Jeep education together. Hope to see you on January 15th on Monday when we kick off our Ass Kicking Challenge. And of course, I would love for you to join us in our mastery coaching program for the entire year. So much goodness going on. I'm going to let you go since I've kept you forever. So thank you again for jumping on here with me today, spending this time together, allowing me to walk you through the entire process of the Drive Your Life Planner. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate. Drop them in the comments. I will jump in and answer questions or shoot us an email. Custserv, CUST, SERV at ladyjeepers.com. If you have any questions, we are always happy to help. All right, ladies, mark your calendar. I will see you next Wednesday, 3 p.m. Eastern, right here live together for our next cup of coffee with Kristin. Have a fantastic first week of 2024. Woo! Happy New Year, ladies. See you again soon. Bye, everybody.